Hi, this is a quick teacher guide for using Spiral.ac to check pupils for their understanding. Now, when you look up this website, you do have the option to choose these 5 different modes. Today we're just going to be focusing on the top 3 you can see here, Quickfire and Quickfire Lite and Discuss. Okay, so first of all, very quickly, this looks slightly bunched up because I've got my screen half split so you can see the pupil view at the same time. But I'm going to create a dummy class for us, okay? So, at the very bottom here, I'm going to click Add New Class. And that's it. My class is made as easy as that, okay? So, let's go back to our home page. And first of all, we'll do a Quickfire Lite. So say I've got a live meeting and I want to get people to answer questions, but I want everybody to answer. And if I've got a class of 20 or 35, that can be quite hard to keep track in the chat bar. I mean, as fast as responses come in, probably you're just going to pick a couple to look at. So instead, let's try this. Okay, so there's my class list. I'm going to click my dummy class. Right, now you can try and copy and paste this to the Google Meet, but unfortunately it does not work as a link. So I just tell them to Google Go Spiral and it will come up. And then I post them these 5 letters to use. So on the pupils point of view, you can write, and this works really well on a phone actually. And the first they have to do is join a class. So they open this up, they click in sign in with Google and join in, and then click join a class. Okay, so that's them in that class. So obviously that makes it actual the course level. So maybe National 5 Biology, something like that. And there's an activity going on, so they can click join that activity. Okay, so from the pupil's point of view, we're waiting until all the names appear here. So you wait for your full class is ready and you click go. Okay, so I might ask something like, describe the first stages of respiration. The pupils have to enter their answer then. Okay, so they can type in if they know it, if they don't know it, they can try their best answer and they put it up here. Now, right now, I know that somebody's handed something in, but the answers are hidden. When I give them enough time to answer, you can reveal answers. That allows them to see each other's answers as well. And if you click correct, if somebody's written the same thing, it'll mark them both correct. Now, if they don't know, I might click improve and it comes back to the pupil here. And I might say, okay, well, think about it. It starts off with glucose. So what's glucose broken down into? Okay, and they might tell me and help them towards that answer. Okay, so you can go back and forth. All your pupils appear here with different grids. You can keep it anonymous. I like to get my class not to be shy about making mistakes, because I'll learn from mistakes, and just show names as well. So I can call them by name and say, okay, this is good, I like this, but can you say a bit more? I can nudge them forward. I'm ready to ask my next question. I just click next question and it keeps going. This really works well because rather than just having a chat bar, you can scroll up and down and see all 20 or all 30 responses at once. You can move around saying correct or clicking improve if you want to give them feedback. And quite often the feedback you're saying applies to several people, so you can give generic feedback and then click improve on a few of them and get them to send their answer. Right, if you're finished for the session, you can hit exit ticket, and that just gets them to self-assess how they feel they got on today, what they think they learnt. Okay, I click resume session. Now I want to finish my session. Okay, so that takes me to the end. If you scroll down, you'd see all your pupils and all of their answers by question or by pupil. You can actually click now to enable grading and give marks, so you'll have to remember which question was which because we didn't write any questions down in this one. Okay, you can relaunch it to go back in. The pupils can see their answers but not their questions because this is light mode. Okay, so let's go back to our home. So although that's good for quick, unplanned, kind of just quick verbal questioning, what would be better then to take advantage of those features is to launch the proper quickfire. Okay, so I like to have 10 key questions for a topic that are the basics that you need to know. So you can put an open answer to questions here, like and save that. Okay, and then you just add a new question here that can be close-ended. You can do a poll, you can do multiple choice, you can do annotation. To be honest, I've just been using this for open questions at the moment, so I can see answers and send it back to them. Okay. Now, once you're happy with this, you can just save it as a lesson, so it's there to use in your classes. Or if you've got a class right now, you can just go again and assign it to them. You can set it as a task to do asynchronously in their own time, or if you're doing it as a live lesson, which is how I've been doing it, you just click launch as before. Now we only made one question there, but again, you're going to give them that code. So on the pupil's point of view, if they go back to their classes, again, they can go back in and see the past work they've done by going into their mark book, anything that's been graded, any assignments that have been set. But if they go to the class, you can see there's a live lesson going on right now, so let's join that. Okay, pay attention to your teacher to hear the question. I wait until they all log in, and when we're ready, we hit go, and the question appears at the top. Okay? And as they start to submit, you'll start to get hidden answers appearing. Okay? You can set a timer here if you want to start to push them towards a time, and you reveal answers, and you can start to think, are we accepting it or not? Now I might say, okay, things is a bit general, so can you tell me what things you mean exactly? What's a better word you can use in things? And it comes back to them, and they might say molecules. Might resubmit that, and I might say, brilliant, that's really, really good. Can you give me a bit extra more? What does it have to cross take in or out of a cell? What do we call the cell membrane? What's that extra terminology we use and push them for better answers? So this can go back and forth while you're waiting for other people to answer. So whilst I might be trying to get the basic answer to appear, you might be pushing other pupils and differentiating how much information you want to get from them. Remember though, if you want to know who you're speaking to exactly, you're going to have to show names here, or they can hide here. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to add a second pupil in here to see what it looks like. So again, there's an answer that's true about the cell membrane, but it's not what the question is actually asking. So I can give them verbal feedback and tell them that so they can make changes. Now, you can see on this version that our dummy people here on the right can only see their own answer. Okay, they're not seeing other people. So that's good to know that if we hit show names and they submit their work, they can't actually see each other, so it's private, okay? So you can call them by name or not call them by name. And when you're happy, you can just click correct. And again, at the top, move on to the next question. We've got our exit task again there, so we can ask them how they get on. If we run out of time, say we've made up 10 questions, we'll get 8 done. We can click finish. We can extend it and be able to let them work on it between classes till next time, which is really good. They can finish the work up themselves, okay? Or I can just click finish. Now again, this time it says grading is disabled, so I'm going to enable it and look down at my answers. Now annoyingly, you can only give a 1 or a 5, there's no like 2, 3 or 4 marks. So I tend to keep it as 1 mark questions, or if I do use 5, I tend to use 5 for excellent, 3 for okay, and 1 for lacking, and give them that as a feedback information. The stars mean that they got the marks, we can see that. We can go to like a grades table and see overall how they're getting on. It also means when the pupils go to their mark book, there's nothing there to be reviewed right now, so let me publish grades. Students will be able to see their grades. Okay, so that has been published. That's the only class they've got, there's no activities at the moment. So let's go and look at our mark book now, and there we can see they're getting their percentage grade there. Okay, if they click on it, they can go back in and they can see the questions they got right or got wrong. Also, as a teacher, this is how you share it to their classroom if they want to finish it. If you want to relaunch it live to continue with it next live lesson, just click to launch again. Okay? And that's it published for them. So let's look at our final mode. So I'll go back to home. This time we're going to launch a discuss. So if you click here and you want to import pre-made slides, and that can be a presentation, or I'm going to show you today a presentation with just past paper questions. Now the main thing with this is if you try and upload a PPTX, which is a more modern PowerPoint, it won't work. Simply open your PowerPoint, go to so that's in view mode. Make sure it's saved in the right mode. Okay, so just simply go to File, Save As, and make sure the mode you're saving it in is PPT like that. So that's the mode you want to save it in, and then you can upload it. So in Blue Peter fashion, let's have a look at one I made earlier. So when you go down to your lessons here, you can see everything you've got going on. D for discuss. There's some past paper questions. So let's launch this one. Now, if I went, sorry, let me go back a second. That one I've actually already started with my class. So if I go to my active sessions, you can go down and you can reopen ones that you've already started. Okay, so this is the one I'm doing with my higher class, but now I want to assign it to this dummy class. So again, I just choose dummy class in the list here, and I'm going to click launch. Okay, same idea, you share the code with the pupils. So when the pupils sign in and go to their class, they're going to see that a live lesson is underway again. So they join activity. And let me just do this on my phone as well so we can get our second student to join in. Okay, so there's my two pupils and I'm ready to go. So what appears on the screen is the same on your screen as their screen. You can get them to zoom in to look at the past paper questions, especially on a desktop or phone. You can actually pinch it to move right in and pull off the data. This is a multiple choice one, so they have to select an answer of A, B, C, or D. Okay. Now, let's just say they both said A. This one, in discuss mode, you can see other answers. Okay, it doesn't tell their name right now. If I click show names, again, they still can't see. But if I click now reveal answers, I can see who has said what. Okay, so they'll be able to see up and down, especially for written answers, and they can compare those to other people's. If you hit correct on one and they're both the same, it marks them both. Okay. If somebody else now posted a big A, I'd have to do it again. So you can wait a few seconds till they all start to appear. And when you're ready and you've given your verbal feedback, you can move on to your next slide. Okay, so this is one with me just showing working. There's no question to ask here. So I'm going to move on to question 3. There's 3 parts here, so I'm going to ask them to title that with an I, an II, and then their final answer. You'll also notice at the top here it says take down notes, so they can make notes as they go along, submit their answers. Whenever you're ready to give feedback, you click Reveal Answers, and that will show the work that they have done. You can finish it in the same way with an exit ticket, and you can go to Finish Discuss. Again, post to extend if you want to do it in your own time, or you can just click Finish, which means you can come back and relaunch it in the future. When you're finished, you'll see here that it shows them all of the questions. So we only did the first 2, the rest are going to say not submitted. They can work through this at their own time, or we can come back to it and restart the session. But they can always go back in and see how they got on with their questions. Again, we can enable grading. We can publish grades to let them know that. We can list by student, and we can actually leave them feedback on their whole thing. Not by question, but you can give them maybe one thing to work on, and that will, for example, this, you might want to copy paste like a common feedback in there when it comes up on the pupils. Just refresh that to the pupil. they're able to access that feedback. So there it appears there at the top, and they can go down and see what they got right or what they got wrong. Okay, so again, that was just past paper questions on a presentation, but you can use that for your normal classroom presentation if you want to pause every so often, get people to tell you, okay, what have you just learned? What do you think? Okay, how does that link to a past topic? Compare this to, and you get people to see each other's answers, start these written discussions, and check for understanding as you move through the lessons. Okay, so that is just 3 options that you can use Spiral for, which is really good. My class have given me really good feedback on this. If you're wanting to do breakouts, you can launch Team Up and you can set them into groups to do things, but that's something I've not used yet. So let me know if you use that and if it's worth exploring. All right, and good luck.